Hey guys, welcome back to another video with Forza Horizon 4. Today we're looking at the KOENIGSEGG JESKO and we're doing a full customization on this car. For those of you who don't know, we actually just got this car yesterday, which was December 31st. You have 1 week to get it because this is the featured car in the Forza Festival this week. So I definitely recommend you jump on, get this car, fully upgrade this thing and see how powerful it is. Such an amazing car, one of the fastest cars in the entire world, and I definitely recommend you guys getting it. Super easy as well. Already made a video on how to actually get it, so I'll link it down below and I'll briefly touch on it in this video. But for now, what we'll do is just kind of admire all the different angles on this car, jump into the Forza Vista and just kind of look at it. It's such a unique car, very stunning, and they definitely have the KOENIGSEGG element to it with like the doors and the styling, and everything is just so perfect. Such a beauty, man. It's such a well engineered car and it's definitely pleasing to look at. All the components open up, the whole back shell there, the front end here, not much storage space in here, actually none whatsoever. I don't know if the roof comes off of the JESKO, to be honest. I don't think it is convertible. I think it's one piece. I could be wrong on that, but I know like the Agera and maybe the 1-to-1. I'm not sure about the 1-to-1 actually. The RS, the Agera, they all have the roof that actually comes off. Same with the Regera. You can put it in the front here, but the reason I don't think this roof comes off is because there's not a lot of room in there, and there's no like sliding pouch where you can actually put it. So I don't think it comes off, to be honest. Very nice though. The other car that's very similar is the KOENIGSEGG Absolute. I'm not sure if that's also called a JESKO Absolute, but it is literally one of the fastest cars. I think like top 3 or something like that. But there we go. Here's the interior. Lots of Alcantara. Big screen in the center. They actually have a shift knob in the center as well. I don't think it's a manual. I'm pretty sure it's not a manual for sure because it has paddles. But that's probably to put in drive or something like that. Beautiful seats, beautiful interior. You have the rotating screen on the steering wheel right behind the paddles there that actually rotate with the wheel when you turn it. So that's very cool. We'll hop on out of here. We'll probably get some interior views when we go for a drive because we will definitely be taking this out for a drive. We're going to take a look at the stats of this thing. Actually, before we do that, I'm going to hop over to the welcome back page and take a look at the festival playlist, which is where you will win this car. Like I said, I've linked it down below on how to actually do it. I posted yesterday, but pretty much it's the winter festival playlist. We're gonna head all the way over here, and it's the Let It Snow event. It's a 3-part race, or 3 races in 1 championship, and you don't have to win them all, but you do have to win the overall points at the end, and that way you actually get this car. You also have to do a highly skilled difficulty on this. That's the only way you'll get the car. And also I realize pretty much you have to use a KOENIGSEGG to race all 3 races, but you have to make sure it's an S2 class. And a lot of the KOENIGSEGGs, they go up to the X class, and if they do, you'll have to buy a new one or downgrade. So I had a couple of questions about that. Some people couldn't use their KOENIGSEGGs, and that's because they had them fully modified. So make sure to drop it down to S2, and you'll be able to easily get that JESKO. So we'll jump out of there. We'll go over to the official stats now. As it sits, it is stock. I haven't done anything to it. No upgrades at all. No colors, nothing like that. So we'll take a look at the colors after as well. But as you can see, we can pretty much do all the standard upgrades. Actually, no, we can't. I lied. As soon as I hop into engine, the only thing that you can upgrade is the twin turbo. You can put it up to a race twin turbo, which of course we'll do. Before I do that, I want to jump back. We'll take a quick look at the stats. We have a 0 to 60 mile an hour time, 2.7 seconds. Top speed of 274.3 miles an hour. That's crazy. Super fast. We have 1280 horsepower, 883 foot-pounds of torque. So we'll quickly do the modifications that we can to it, and then we'll jump back and we'll take a look at what the official stats are again. There won't be that much of a change, to be honest. I think it's all going to be relatively the same, but nonetheless it'll make the car sound a little bit different, maybe with the upgraded twin turbo and that sort of thing. Definitely have grippier tires. I like that. We'll make them wide as heck. And then I don't know about you guys, but I like going over here and just kind of making the track width just one ever so slightly out. It just kind of makes the wheels pop a little bit more, and it doesn't look like they're inside the body as much. But it's not really. I don't think it does anything. I could be wrong on that too. But nonetheless, there we go. We have all those upgrades that you can do. So not many at all. You can actually change it from a rear wheel drive to an all wheel drive. I like the sound of that, but for just pure insanity, we're going to leave it with the rear wheel drive and see how this thing performs. It is the winter season, so the snow is on the road, so it might be slick. This thing might be all over the road, sliding off the road, that sort of thing. We'll take a look at that. Let's go ahead and take a look at the stats really quick again. So 0 to 60 time of 3.6 seconds. I think that went up, to be honest. I think that got worse. Top speed of 294 miles an hour, so that's better. We were at 1280 horsepower, so we're at 1600 horsepower and 1100 foot-pounds of torque. So it definitely went up in stats. Those are all like the official stats for Forza. The speed, the handling, acceleration, launch, and braking. And this is an X999 now, so it's fully maxed out. You can't really do much more to it. We're going to jump out here, install the setup. Only 27k for those upgrades, so it doesn't cost a lot, which is nice. Nonetheless, we have 100 million credits, so it really doesn't matter. Even if it costs like a million, I'd probably still do it just for the sake of the video. But let's go ahead and jump out of here. We're going to take this thing for a quick drive. And then what I want to do is I want to do a hot lap on my circuit that I do pretty much like a Forza Versus series on. We'll do a hot lap, see how this thing does. I'll kind of be quiet as well so you can hear the sound of the car. But right away I noticed that it's definitely fast right away. You can feel the intensity and the power behind it. We're going to try and do some clean driving here. No promises. Glad I didn't promise. Handling is okay. I'm using the controller right now. It's not terrible. I mean, it's as expected for a car with 1600 horsepower. Maybe, okay. Thanks for braking right in front of me. Maybe with a wheel or somebody who has more experience with the driving in this game than I do would be able to control it a lot better. Braking's really good. Braking's very, very responsive, which is nice. Overall, not bad. Turning radius is really nice. I don't like the cars that are fully modified and you go to brake and it's literally no braking and no turning. It's like you go in the corner and you hit the wall. So now we're going to hit some snow. It's a little bit slidey. It's not too bad. Not too bad. Right there I was sliding quite a bit. Traction is, there's no traction. Nope. None at all. It's having a hard time. We are going uphill too. All over the place. It can't, there we go. I guess the little bump from the Vulcan there is what we needed. Alright. So yeah, not a bad car at all. I definitely recommend getting it because this thing's going to be ridiculous to get. It will be really, really hard to get off the auction house. I noticed now, maybe it's because the new Xboxes, maybe because the new Xboxes are out and they're super, super quick with loading. I noticed that sniping cars off the auction house are really hard right now. I still have the Xbox One S, so it takes a while for everything to load, and by the time a car like immediately pops up that is like the only car of its kind on the auction house, and then you go to buy it out really quick, like I'm talking within seconds, it's already bought out. Like it's people are on top of their stuff and very, very fast with it. So this thing, unless you have that sort of thing like a new Xbox or you're just really, really lucky, it's going to be extremely hard to get off the auction house. I'm going to go over and take a look after I'm done here because I haven't actually looked for it, but I doubt anyone's going to be selling this anytime soon. So get on, do those 3 races. Very, very easy. You'll have this car in your garage. You won't have to sell it. You'll just be able to use it whenever you want, and that's what I recommend. So I'm going to go do a hot lap. We'll jump right over to that, and yeah, see how this does. Alright, so on to the hot lap time, and this is pretty much the track that I do all the cars on. I'm doing a full versus series, so all the cars will be put on this track and racing around to find the best possible lap times that they can do. And that's kind of how I'll do a side-by-side comparison of different cars. Now, I'm not putting the cars to their full potential because I do want to do clean racing. Don't necessarily want to hit the walls, don't want to be going off-roading, that sort of thing. I want to keep it on the track, kind of feel the car, get to know the handling of it, and see what it can actually do. And right off the rip already, this car is actually really impressive. I do like the handling, and I really like the turning in it as well. This car turns like a beauty. Goes into the corners like a car with 1600 horsepower. You would expect when it goes into the corners, like you have to be almost dead stopped in order to turn that car. But this thing is still going at high speeds and definitely performing very, very well. It's not bad at all. Went a little bit slower into that corner. I find I do tend to hit that wall quite often if I do go too fast, but nonetheless it was pretty good. We're going to try not to lock up the tires either. Very minimal braking, and like I said before, I'm not kind of putting the cars to its full potential. I am doing a lot of feathering on like the gas and the braking. But nonetheless, that was a very clean lap, and I think we actually had a really, really good time too. Let's take a look at the actual time. So across the line there, we got a time of 1:29.957. That's a very, very good time for this car. I'm sure I could probably knock off a couple seconds, maybe get it all the way down to 1:26 with clean racing. So in between like a 3-second time frame there. I think a couple corners there I just went a little bit too slow, which increased the time by a little bit, but nonetheless very good, well-rounded car. Love it. Probably going to use it a lot. Honestly, one of my favorite cars in the entire world and this game, and it'll probably become one of my number ones that I actually use. So nonetheless, if you guys don't have this car, make sure to jump on and get it. It's a very, very easy. Like I said, it's a 3-part race that you have to do, just 3 different races. And you're using a Koenigsegg, so it should be relatively easy as well. Get this car and then you have it. Even if you don't like it, just get it, and one day, maybe in a couple weeks, you'll be able to sell it for like 20 million credits. I'm not sure what they're going for on the auction house right now, but I'm sure they're expensive if you have the ability to sell them for that sort of price. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. If you guys are interested in a full Versus series, then make sure you guys are subscribed, turn on notifications. Do appreciate that as well. Drop this video a like if you did enjoy, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.